What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So we're going to take a look and listen to Joe Manchin. So this is going to be a stimulus package, stimulus check update, and it's going to be interesting to hear what Joe Manchin has to say. So I showed you guys two other videos, and you can check the link up here if you want to check them out. We had two other senators talk about the stimulus package and this new bipartisan $908 billion proposal. Now we're going to listen to Joe Manchin and his take on this $908 billion proposal. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Joe Manchin. Here we go.
April 1st.
Yeah, we're scared to death of that.
That's what. Let me go to what I invited you on for, which has to do with this bipartisan deal you guys are coming together. It looks like it's going to be just under $1 trillion. How close are you? Is this a deal that we're going to see come to fruition before the end of this coming week?
Well, it's a deal that must come together. We don't have a choice now. It's one of those things that has to be done, and I'll tell you the reason why. I want people to understand this is a COVID emergency relief. Started out as a relief framework. You've seen the framework, how we came to $908 billion in all the different categories. And what we did as a group, we came together and said, listen, we have got to do something. After the election, we started coalescing around how do we move this forward. And we looked at basically everything that was going to terminate at the end of December, the lifelines that people were depending on, whether it be food assistance, whether it would be shelter, whether it be health care, whether the necessities of people have, child care that's needed to try to get our lives back. All the things were going to be eliminated, Chuck. And we said that can't be done. We cannot allow this to happen. Democrats and Republicans came together, and we're moving forward.
It's not the deal that a lot of people think is needed, including the chair of the Federal Reserve. I mean, I think he is concerned that it's more likely you're underdoing it than overdoing it. Do you concur with him? Are you worried that you're probably doing less than you should be doing?
Chuck, this is an emergency relief package only till April 1, the first quarter, to get through the first quarter. Every indication says more money is needed. We see that.
So if you know there's more money needed, if all indicators are showing you that, why not do a bigger package? I mean, that's like me going to the gas station and I know I'm going to need a full tank at some point, but just getting a half a tank just to get me by for a couple of days, and then I'm going to have to go right back to the gas station again and fill up. It doesn't make any sense. If you know that more is needed, do it now. Why wait? I don't understand how these politicians come across and say, well, we know that there's going to be more needed, but let's handle this stuff right now, and then we can look at that other stuff later. It doesn't make any sense to me. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
Us through basically the lifelines that people need and the small businesses that can survive and not go under, unemployment checks that people are going to be losing. If we don't invest this money now, and Chuck, every indication says that more is needed. The president-elect Joe Biden says this is a down payment. He can come in as president. When he does come in as president, his team can put together a different proposal that takes us further down the road for more recovery. If we don't do something now, and on both sides of the aisle, my colleagues have said, the $908 billion of investment we make into the citizens of this country and trying to keep this economy from collapsing, but could be more important than $2 trillion would be in February, March if we do nothing. And maybe then it might be too late for so many people in small businesses.
All right, so that was a small little clip. He talked about some other stuff about the Democratic Party and how they need to really change their message. But it's so interesting. And these are legislators. And this is what really gets me. And Joe Manchin said this himself when he was talking about this whole thing. Joe Biden could put together a proposal, and then we can look at that proposal in the future. It's your job. You are a legislator. It's your job to put together proposals. And you're relying on Joe Biden, the next president, to put a proposal together. You should be putting a proposal together right now that will get us what we need, and not just get us to April 1st, but get us all we need. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like we're saying, okay, you know, we're gonna focus on this first quarter here. We'll have we'll have what we need for this first quarter, and then we'll have to address some other stuff later. And so obviously what Senator Joe Manchin is saying, that we don't need stimulus checks for this first quarter. People don't need that. But they need some of these other things. I get it. I understand there's some things that are expiring and you want to keep those things going. That makes sense to me. But you also want to get past this whole situation that we're in when it comes to the economy and businesses. And one of the ways that you can do that is not just by giving businesses PPP funding, but also giving the American people stimulus checks. That way they can help these businesses. They can go into these restaurants and stuff like that and help these businesses get back on their feet. Because you can't just give a business money. I mean, let's look at a restaurant. You can't just give a restaurant money and say, okay, this is money for you to stay open and to pay your employees. But if you don't have any patrons coming in, guess what? Eventually that money's going to run out, and then you're going to need to do something at that point. When you can do both things, you can say, okay, here's money to pay your employees and to keep you open, and then give people money, stimulus checks, so they can go into these restaurants and buy food. And I mean, it just makes sense to do them both at the same time and not do one at one time and then let's wait until after April 1st and then maybe do another proposal that has another bill that has a stimulus checks in it, and then we can work on that. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. So we'll have to see where this goes. And like I said in the other videos, it's up to Mitch McConnell. He doesn't have to bring this to the floor. He has his own proposal. He can bring that to the floor and just not even address this one. So we'll see. I think what will probably happen is he will get together with Nancy Pelosi and they'll take bits and pieces of both proposals and put them out there. So it's not going to be this, the entire $908 billion proposal is probably not what we're going to see. Once we see the language too, then that will tell us a lot more about where they want to go. But we already heard that April 1st. We heard that April 1st date. And so it looks like that things are going to expire around April 1st for a lot of these different programs. So we'll just have to see. I want to know what you guys think. So in the comment section, let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.